born in small town Indiana, raised mostly by my grandparents in a Jehovah's Witness household. Jehovah's Witnesses do not vote. They do not celebrate Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, birthdays. My grandparents being war generation, they believed in hard work, sacrifice, and being prepared and not giving up on your dreams and what you believe in. Those are very conservative values, it turns out. I didn't realize it at the time when I was growing up, but they were also the television generation, and the mainstream media and the nightly news was on daily. So were the television shows, the commercials, the feature films. And not knowing what I know now, I was led primarily towards the left. The leftist ideology, the leftist beliefs, and it sounded very appealing, it was very attractive, it was very seductive, it was very subtle, and from what I understand now, it was very insidious, very dangerous. I grew up and got out on my own, and I followed those beliefs. Along with my conservative upbringing, my conservative foundation, which I didn't understand as being conservative, which I didn't understand as conservatism. I just thought it was mostly hampering and hindering. Our family was apolitical. We didn't talk politics. As I said, Jehovah's Witnesses do not vote, they do not get involved. But they do like to complain. The situation turns sour when things go wrong, when bad things happen where the government is concerned. They like to complain a lot about it, but they don't like to do anything about it except complain. Also, they do not salute the flag. They do not recite the Pledge of Allegiance. They do not stand for Star Spangled Banner. They don't do anything of the sort, which, looking back on it, I find very odd and very strange and very leftist in its very actions. Also, no extracurricular activities after school. During school, college is highly frowned upon. It's all about the organization, it's all about the religion, it's all about the Kingdom Hall and its elders and following the rules, which seemed to be what conservatism was about. And conservatism seemed to be very stifling and not freeing. And liberalism seemed to offer the exact opposite. You're very free, it's very open, you can do what you want, you can feel how you feel, you can go where you want and be who you want. It was a lie, a deception, it was a ruse. Fast forward to 2003, XM Satellite Radio is still independent from Sirius, and they have a channel called Air America. Leftist voices, Rachel Maddow, Ed Schultz, Young Turks, and all I knew about conservative radio was that they were racists and bigots and fascists and misogynists and, all of the things that they have always said in my lifetime that I can remember. Fast forward again to 2008, Barack Obama is running for president, and I vote for the very first time in my life at the age of 35. I thought it was going to be a historic, wonderful thing for the country, and so I went to a friend of mine who was a registered Democrat, who was actually a candidate for office. I can't remember what position he held at the time. He gave me a ballot and just had me vote full Democrat up and down the ticket. So that's what I did. Because I just wanted to vote, and I wanted to vote for Obama, and so I did. 2012 comes along, and I'm not impressed with what I see. I'm not happy about what's taken place. And so I sit out again, and I don't vote at all. After living through 8 years of that, 2016 rolls around, and I realize that there's going to be another Clinton, whose name I've heard for 25 years of my life. There's going to be another Bush, whose name I'd heard for 36 years of my life. And there's going to be a whole lot of politicians, a whole lot of fake smile, plastic hairdo, perfect suits, canned, workshopped, focus grouped speeches, where every word, every letter, every inflection is perfect, and nothing is real, is true, and nothing is genuine, and nothing is authentic. Donald Trump announces he's going to run for the presidency of the United States of America. Now, I had heard the name Donald Trump for as far back as I can remember. I was born in 1973, and I believe I first heard his name sometime in the 80s. So I knew who he was, and I knew what he did, and I knew he was famous, and I knew he was rich, and I knew plenty of those kinds of things. But what I didn't know is that he was a racist and a homophobe and a xenophobe and a misogynist and every other ist and ism that the left can possibly throw at him. I'd never heard any of these things before. So it got me curious. I was still listening to leftist radio at the time, but I was not interested in Clinton. I certainly wasn't interested in Bernie promising me everything I could ever want under the sun for absolutely no money down and no cost to me personally, and it was going to be free college and free housing and free food and free gasoline and free money and free Tic Tacs and whatever I wanted. I just didn't have to put any effort into getting, and none of that sounded right, because I've always worked hard my whole life, and none of that sounded right at all to me. But I still hadn't woken up. I was still listening to leftist propaganda and ideology. The reality is, Bernie made me switch. He woke me up. I'll never forget it. I was in my bathroom, folding towels, listening to Rachel Maddow one day, and I don't remember exactly what day. I don't even remember what month. I think it may have been June or July of 2015. And Rachel says Bernie Sanders has been beaten for the Democratic nominee to run for the presidency by Hillary Clinton. But Bernie's not giving up. Bernie has decided he's going to wait until the convention, the Democratic convention, and flip the superdelegates to his favor so he can take the nomination back. Now, this is the moment that I lost all faith, all respect, and any desire to hear anything else they said, because this was supposed to be a man of the people. He was supposed to be a socialist. He was supposed to be, all about what the people want and getting the people what they want. Again, not knowing what I know now, the people chose Hillary, but he decided that wasn't his liking, so he was just going to take it away, and that's what did it. That was all I needed to know. That was the last straw. That was what sent me over the edge. I had heard years and years prior about a man named Alex Jones, and I had heard about InfoWars, and I didn't know much about him. But at that moment, that's what was in my head. That's what I heard. Alex Jones, check out InfoWars, check out InfoWars. So I went to YouTube or Google or wherever I went to look for him, and I started listening to him, and I got behind Trump in a major way. Thanks to Bernie Sanders and his typical politician dishonesty. And thanks to the Democrats for their typical Democrat dishonesty. As this is happening, I keep hearing these stories on the mainstream media about Trump's a racist, hates everybody who's not white, loves the Klan, Hitler, and Trump's Mao Zedong and Joseph Stalin, and everybody all rolled into one. So I thought, how is this just now coming out? Why has the story never been told? It didn't make any sense. I'd seen the rap videos that he was featured in. I'd heard the lyrics. Trump was what you shoot for as a role model in this America. You can be who you want to be. You can have what you want to have. You just have to work hard for it, and it's yours. You can do whatever you like to do. So suddenly Trump's a racist and a fascist, and he's Hitler and Mao Zedong and Joseph Stalin all rolled into one. When all he really is a businessman who happened to, get famous and decide to run against the Democrats. Didn't make any sense to me. So after over a year of listening and really learning about what really went down and how crooked and how disgustingly destructive and corrupt the Democratic Party is, the terrorist leftists, I call them, are, I voted for Donald Trump, and I am happy that I voted for Donald Trump, and I will never ever turn my back on him. He is under so much attack, and he has done so many great things so far for this country. It's completely turned so many things around, and his greatest power, in my opinion, is his ability to expose the left. His ability to force the left's hand to show everybody who they really are. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. I'm voting in November. It's September right now. I cannot wait to go vote. and get the Democrats out of the way once and for all. Because I have the sneaking suspicion that there's a whole lot about to blow wide open here in just the next few weeks, where the Democrats are concerned, and what they're up to and what they're about to be put through, thanks to their own corruption and lying and deceit and criminality. So I think it's going to be fantastic. And again, I will never turn my back on my president. The guy is he's just phenomenal, and he is absolutely someone to look up to and emulate. I've also walked away from Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all of it. YouTube is the only, quote, social media that I have anymore, and I'm on my way to turning away from that as well. They censored Alex Jones completely off the platform, off of everywhere that I can get him, except for his app, basically. I don't have any radio stations locally that I can listen to him on, so I can listen to him on his app, and that's about it. So I think I'm going to let YouTube go as well and try my best to get out from under Google's yoke. There's a new operating system on the horizon called Kai OS, K-A-I-O-S, and it's designed for what they now call feature phones, what they used to call dumb phones. It does a lot as far as the functionality and having apps and things. It isn't anything like Android or iOS, but I don't need that, and I don't need to be under Google's yoke anymore, and I don't need to give them any more of my information. So I think I'm just gonna pretty much walk completely away from everything that has to do with these big giant mega corporations, unless President Trump can get them busted up into smaller corporations and break the monopolies that these companies have. They did it to Microsoft. They need to do it to Apple. They need to do it to Google. They need to do it to Facebook. And they need to do it to Twitter as well. That's my story, and I think I'm going to stick to it.